live, and then we can check all the channels, because sometimes the software just is kind of it's a little wonky. Sometimes the software is a little bit wonky. So I went live. We still have 3 minutes before the top of the hour. Hey, listen, welcome aboard. If you're watching this in the replay, just fast forward 3 minutes, unless you want to see us kind of just jumble around here for the next 3 minutes. But the actual everything is going to start in 3 minutes. But we went live a little bit early. If you're here watching it in the replay, is that you getting a message, an email telling you that we're going live?
Yep, 100%.
Okay. I'm going to just head over and check and see, because, if the technology doesn't work the way we want it to work, we can always just, oh, there we are.
Are we there? I'm not going to check. I'm going to let you do the checking.
All right. I see us live on mine. Let's see.
Are you checking mine for me?
Hey, listen, I'll check yours for you. You can just sit there and welcome people as they show up. Yeah. I'm live.
I can't see them.
You can't?
No, where do I see them? All I see is us. Right. I want to see them. I mean, I like seeing you too, Chris. It's good to see you today. Good morning. But I'd like to see them too.
Bridge, I'm not seeing it on yours. So would you just go to my my profile and share it to yours?
Absolutely.
And so, some kind of a little technical whatever. So you just go to my personal, and you'll see the video there, and then just share it over to yours so that people on yours can see it as well. And then let's go to LinkedIn, which is always fun.
I love LinkedIn.
Because LinkedIn, you got to get special permission to go live on LinkedIn. If you're just joining us, we're gonna actually start this thing up in like a minute, but we wanted to just hop on early and make sure that we're live everywhere we need to be live.
Share now public.
Yeah, share now public. There I am.
Share.
There we are. Oh shoot, there's a whole bunch of people here already, and
oh, hello.
There's a whole bunch of people here. So hello and welcome. All right, we'll get rocking and rolling in about a minute. It's top of the hour. We'll give people the chat is live, and there it is. Oh, a bunch of people are here. There's a bunch of people here. Let me just see. I'll what you talk for a minute. I'm going to get the chat showing up on the side so people can see, and we got about 30 seconds until we're ready to go.
I had so many messages from people I didn't even know saying, hey, how do I gain access to this? I'm super pumped. And I'm like, wow, it's nice to meet you. I would love to meet you in person. We should hop on some virtual coffee. So, I mean, they're right. Well, I think that's why we have our links here, right?
That's right. My link is right there. Can you point to yours quickly? Can you? My link's right here, right there. That's for the people that want to hop on and say hello to me. I think I've got the chat going on right over here. We'll see. Can I get a quick hello in the chat? Anybody, wherever you are? I might not be a chat. It might just be like if they comment on the video. So, and we'll leave that open for the people that want to ask questions while we're talking about this. But I say we just kick this thing off, Bridget. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Happy Thursday morning to you. We used to do these things. I don't know if you remember or not. We used to do these things at like 8 o'clock on Wednesday. And what we found was a lot of people were like, hey, we're exhausted by 8 o'clock. We're done with business by 8 o'clock on Wednesday. I know I'm not, I know you're not, but a lot of people are. And people were just, they were a little bit, there we go. There's Larry Snyder saying hello in the chat. You can see that right over there.
Hi, Larry.
And so we talked to a lot of people, did a lot of research, and 11 o'clock on Thursday suddenly surfaced. 11 a.m. Eastern on Thursday surfaced as a great time to do this. So here we are to give out this free workshop today. And I am excited. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. Somebody just wrote a lot in there. Is that their entire name or something?
No, that's like 10 different people.
There's like 10 different people in that?
Yes. A lot of people. That's fantastic. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is a good time, Chris. Everyone's here and ready to get started.
There's a lot of people there. All right. So, hey, listen, we have something really important to talk about today. And it's something that a lot of people struggle with. And it is having the confidence to approach your market, the confidence to talk to your market, especially when you're presenting your product or service, and when you're doing sales, or when you're making an offer to people, or even when you're just writing your content for social media, for your blog, your videos. It's showing up with confidence. And that's actually somebody saying that they're tagging a bunch of people to jump into this thing. I'm grateful that you did that.
And also, Chris, we're going to be talking about even if you're new to the business world or you're introverted, you can still be super, super
Yeah.
successful. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's really why we invited you guys here, to just know, to level up in your confidence and know that you're not alone if you felt this way.
Yeah, if you're introverted, if you're shy, even if you're extroverted, I don't know if you know this about me or not, Bridget. I'm a very introverted person. I and I know it might not seem that way in the way I present myself, but it does take a lot for me to get up here and do this kind of stuff. I would much rather just kind of sit here behind my computer, I never venture out into the world and never have to talk to anybody. My tendency is to go more towards introverted. When I do Myers Briggs and stuff like that, the introverted, tends to surface more than the E. So I'm coming from a. It's hard to believe, but I'm coming from a place of understanding. I get it. I get it. It's sometimes it's difficult. If you're a little shy, you're a little introverted, to send the sales message. And I'll just say this. I'll just interrupt you and say this, and then I'm going to pause and it's all yours. The thing is, we're living in a very interesting world right now, and the world that we're living in is one that is filled with competition. And competition is getting more and more pronounced. Every single day, new competitors are entering the market. And the difficulty is that new competitors are entering the market who have no experience and have no demonstrated or proven ability to do what they say they can do, because it's easier than ever to enter many of these markets right now. So, you, our friends that are here watching and listening with us, you have competition that's entering the market every single day. More than that, you're competing against the mindset of your prospect, who could just be saying, I'm not going to do anything. Your prospect could be looking at the array of choices that are out there, and they could just say, you know what? Nothing's surfacing, nothing's rising to the top. I'm just not going to do anything. So by having this enhanced level of confidence, regardless if you're shy or introverted, whatever, having this little bit of extra confidence is going to separate you from everybody else. That's why it's important to be here today. That's why we're talking about this topic today, Bridget. I think you agree.
Of course, I agree. And for those of you who are just starting out on your entrepreneurship journeys, for those of you who feel like you're not 100% prepared to launch into business and to be successful, I just want to challenge that idea for you for a second, because the truth is, when you show up confident, you can show up and differentiate yourself across the board in your market. Because while someone who may have less experience than you, who may have better branding than you, have a better website, we talk about that all the time, Chris, and they may have all those things better than you, but when you show up saying, I can help you with that, that is what sells, because you are saying that you can serve them because you are confident. And I would say that's actually 50% of the solution in the world of business and entrepreneurship.
They say 90% of success is just showing up. And I think showing up confidently is it's like money in the bank, Bridget. It's like this.
Yeah.
You just put that money right in the bank. Right there. You just drop that money right in the bank.
I thought that you were really throwing money in there. And I'm like, what is that? Is that a quarter?
What's he doing that? There's actually somebody that's with us today that I've known since I was a child. I did that for them because that's a little callback to times long ago. All right, Bridget, let's get to work on this. Bridget, hey, I want to first of all, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here today. Hanging out with me here today is Miss Bridget Hom. Bridget, what I love about what you do as the mastermind and the creator behind Bridge to Freedom Coaching is that you help people level up in all areas of their life. You help them level up in business, in their relationships, but more importantly, in the relationship that they have with themselves. And that is what I love about you, what you do. And I'm so glad that you're here with me today.
Oh, Chris, I will share any space with you. And you know what, everyone, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, if you haven't, we did a whole year of lives. So definitely tune into that. We have a whole bunch of Power Pack sales, client interaction, client attraction, and just all out fun strategies to really level up in your business world. But I want to introduce to you Mr. Christopher Prouty, a dear friend, but a powerhouse when it comes to making sure that your business is visible everywhere. How does he do that? Get on his calendar and find out. And
That's true. That's true. And the hardest part, one of the hardest parts of what I do is I teach people how to do it for themselves. And I have to help them have the confidence to take what they've learned and go and get it done. Bridget, so let's get to work. I promised everyone in the title of this that we were going to share the number one way, but I want to give a little bit more than that. I've actually got 3 ways. I'm going to save the number one way for the last. So it's like a countdown, 3, 2, 1. I know you came prepared with 3 ways as well. So let me kick this thing off. I'm going to say this, and this might seem counterintuitive, and this might seem kind of way off the track for what you think we might be talking about, but I'm going to say this, and it's very simply, if you want to have more confidence in your business, in your life, in your interactions, in your relationships, you have to come from a place of both mental and physical fitness. You have to take care of your body. You have to take care of your mind. And a lot of people will look and say, well, this, what is this guy talking about? He talks about client attraction through social media, but truly it all starts here, and it's your body and your mind that are the foundation for all of this. So some of the things that you can do to fine tune your body and fine tune your mind is reduce the amount of sugar that you consume. Sugar is an inflammatory, and sugar is an unhealthy substance for you to be eating. And there's a lot of science that backs that. You can feel free to Google that and look it up, or not. You can take it on blind faith. But when you consume a lot of sugar, a lot of things happen to you. And there's a lot of inflammation that happens in your body, and it constricts what's going on here in your brain. So you want to reduce the amount of sugar that you eat. You want to spend every day getting 20 minutes of some sort of cardiovascular exercise, even if it's a simple walk. And that's something that many people can do. And if you can't walk, then do something else. Sit in a chair and just raise your arms up and down for 20 minutes. Just do something to get the blood flowing, because when you get the blood flowing, it releases proteins into the bloodstream, which then go to the brain. And those proteins help your neurons fire better in the brain. And when you're performing better, you think of this as like fine-tuning a car and putting a great engine in that car and getting the right fuel in that car. That car is going to move forward fast with confidence. And the same thing is true for you in your body. So what I'd like you to do is commit for me. Don't wait till the new year. Commit for me today. Reduce the sugar. Get a little bit more activity. Breathe, meditate, do some stretching, but fine-tune your body, fine-tune your mind, and you're going to find that your level of confidence in all areas of your life is going to improve. And that, for me, is the foundational step. Bridget, what do you have for us as the foundational step from the way you view confidence?
That was a perfect intro, because what my first step is exactly building on that idea and that ideology, because self-care is super important for your ability to serve others well. Because let's be honest, if you think about business, you're thinking about humans. You're doing relationships in business with human beings. So if you show up without accurate self-care and really taking care and fueling your 4 selves, as I call it in my program, your emotional, your spiritual, your intellectual, and physical self, if you show up in a place where you're not fueled, guess what? You show up hungry in sales. You show up hungry to that prospect in front of you. So my first step is always focusing on who you are being when you are doing, to break free of that transaction mentality and really leveling up to realizing that you are creating relationships that will bring you business. But the first part is always the relationship, and how you focus on relationships is your relationship with yourself first.
That's so beautifully put. I think when you combine those 2 things, the physical, mental fitness, as well as the stuff that you just talked about, that you can synthesize that and alchemize that and turn that into a higher level of confidence as you approach your market. Can you think of a client that you've worked with where they've made that transformation?
Oh, absolutely. So what it looks like when you really level up and focus on who you are being when you're doing, you break free of giving a sales pitch. You show up ready to have an interaction and a communication with someone where they're like, wow, I actually really like you. So what
Yeah.
do you do again? And that's where it begins. That's where you've planted those seeds of relationships. And I was talking to a client yesterday, and they were super amped up about their business. They were super ready to go. They had broken free of all of those ideas of insecurity, or like maybe they don't want to hear my message, and really realized that to empower others, they must be empowered themselves. And then all of a sudden, that gave way to so many different ways of marketing and so many different strategies. They saw no more barriers between them and their business and connecting their business to prospects. It was
Great.
absolutely beautiful.
That's so, that's it's so inspiring for me to hear, and I love the way that you put that. So, if you're just joining us, or if you joined us late, or you need a quick reminder, we're talking about the ways to seduce your prospects, or to get your prospects more interested in you by showing up with unquestionable confidence in your life and in your business. And each of us have 3 different ways that we're going to show you, and we're kind of building up to each of our number 1 suggestions. My first suggestion was, of course, that you want to have a sound and solid physical and mental. You want to have sound and solid physical and mental fitness. You want to be fit so that you're showing up and you're feeling good about yourself, and that's going to project in your confidence. Now, let's get a little bit more tactical. And what I want to suggest is, the more that you know, this is number 2 for me, the more that you know about your prospects, the more that you know about your audience, the more confident you're going to be in talking to these people. So my second piece of advice, or my second guidance for you, is it would be wise to get to know your audience at a very intimate level. You should know what they think and they say, what they think and they don't say, what their concerns are, what keeps them up at night, what makes their gut churn as they're worried about what it is that they're trying to get done in their lives. You have an audience. Become intimately familiar with them. So what are some of the ways that you can do that? Well, the first is simply by talking more and more to your audience. The more prospects that you talk to, and the more groups of your audience that you talk to, the more you're going to learn about them. But you should always be taking notes about the things that they say, the words that they use. What is the lexicon of your audience, so that you're using the same language every time you're talking to them, and you're getting to know them deeper and deeper and deeper. As you get to know them, this level of confidence just comes right out, because you have that confidence in knowing exactly what it is that they want, especially when you're able to provide a service to them, to give them what they want. Okay, so my second tip is getting to know your audience. And there's lots of different ways to do that, but simply becoming present with your audience wherever they are. And when you're present with them, you just get to know them at a level unlike anyone else. It's very easy to start a business and say, I'm going to service trainers, for example. I'm going to service, let's say fitness trainers. It's very easy to start a business and say, I'm going to service fitness trainers. But if I don't know what the mission is like for a fitness trainer, if I don't understand what their biggest fears are, their biggest concerns are, I'm just going to show up as me, who's pitched to everybody, and I'm going to pitch the same way, and that's not going to stand out, and it's not going to seem confident. When you do get to know them, then you show up and you understand them and you're speaking their language. That's where you seem just so unbelievably confident in the way that you can service them. Bridget, your thoughts?
Well, what I love about what you just said is that you really do have to listen well. I know you said you really do have to get to know your prospects. You have to get to know their problems. You have to get to know their life, what their life looks like when they're not running a business. You have to get on their maps, as we like to say in the coaching world. And for you introverts out there, I know you're there. For you introverts out there, you can still build confidence. And actually, it's a way that I tell my clients, pause with a purpose and just communicate nonverbals and give them good energy and ask questions. So oftentimes we show up with the prospect in front of us, and we want to share the immense amount of ways we can help them. But if they're not ready to receive that, you want to step into the verbal door that they open for you.
Yeah.
So my second tip is to really listen well, get on their maps, and step in the door that your prospect opens for you. Step into asking good questions versus statements.
Wow.
So flip that switch and see where you can ask directed questions so that your prospect can make decisions to get to a destination, which hopefully is partnering with you.
Well, yeah, that's what this is all about, is that we're working towards here is getting more sales, making that sales process happen more smooth, more easy, less friction, less resistance, but we're also working towards standing out and above the competition. Bridget, I often hear you talk about the mental rehearsal, right? You talk about that, and you use that in your coaching, in your training. So talk to me about how the mental rehearsal plays into the four pieces of information that we've given everyone so far.
So, the mental rehearsal is a mindset strategy that I use in the Find Your Freedom program that helps people to really own their master skill set. So, for example, for everyone watching here, and for I say that in my mental rehearsal, it's 3 words that embody who I am when I'm in my life, relationships, and business. So, I am a powerful influencer, a master connector, and a master relationship builder. Anywhere I go, I'm going to influence you in your trait of what you're thinking, who you're being, and what you're doing. I'm going to give you inspired ways to influence others in your business or in your relationships. I'm going to connect you to thoughts and ideas or people that are going to serve you in growth. And then I'm going to talk to you about relationships. Take the business out of the relationship. Your relationships will bring you business.
That's really so well put, and I know everyone here grabbed some little nugget from that. Your mental rehearsal is so important and it reminds me that in my flagship program, which is called Growth Galvanized, where we teach advanced client attraction techniques, we also do a lot of mindset work, and part of that is through setting intentions. And it's very much like your mental rehearsal, where we're setting intentions and we are repeating those intentions to ourselves every day. And it's doing things like that that really elevate your perception of self, which then comes through in your confidence.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I kind of want to take it to a deeper level here, but what I teach in my program, the first basic ideology is that the first person you sell to is yourself.
Yeah.
And so you sell your self confidence first and foremost. So your conscious mind, I like to say, is your salesman. And his sales pitch is your thoughts, words, actions, and emotions. He sells to the client, your subconscious mind, who is your belief setter, your destination setter, and your moving sidewalk. And so they all work together to create your mental rehearsal, to create and perpetuate your confidence, and then to communicate that effectively so that you can speak confidently in front of prospects.
Bridget, can you think of a time where you weren't confident? Can you remember back to when you were presenting and you might not have been confident? It's been a really long time for me.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely. When I first started out, where I started seeking my confidence was in the interaction, was in the empowerment, was in the hope and the ability of and belief in what my program could do for others. And that's really, that's okay to put your confidence on that transformation when you're really sure of what your program or your product, message, or service will do for someone. But you still want to get to that deeper level of who you're being. But yeah, 100%, absolutely. But you show up confident regardless. I remember, you know what, Chris, I'll get real and raw with you for a second. My virtual backgrounds. I love them. I totally promote them all the time. I love my virtual office. But, before the virtual office, I remember putting a painting up behind me and it was leaning against the chair and I was talking to a prospect and it fell over while we were talking. And the funny part was they just kept talking. And they're like, "So when can we partner together?"
They
And I
didn't.
was
They
like,
didn't even.
"It doesn't even matter
It
because
didn't even matter.
right? Because your prospect wants to work with you. Doesn't matter about, a painting falling over. It does not matter. Although, in previous or former, or I'm sorry, in other sessions, we should talk about how that does create a persona for you. But realistically, bottom line, your prospect wants you and wants to work with what you have and your product, message, or service.
I'm thinking back to when I first started presenting to people. get ready for this. I was 18 years old, and one of my very first jobs was being on stage doing a form of entertainment. And I used to do, I used to work in a whole bunch of different venues doing this. And I can remember the very first couple of times that I had to get in front of an audience, and I had to get up there and I had to entertain these people, first of all. So I had to be I had to be entertaining. And I was terrified and I was shaking, and like my knees inside of my pants were like quivering. And it was just one of those things where you're new, and you've never done it before, and you have a responsibility on the stage to these people. It was terrifying, and all of that got in the way of having the confidence that I needed to do what I needed to do. And boy, I'll tell you what, I wasn't very good at it at first. And it took a lot of time and a lot of mentorship
Sure.
before I could just walk on a stage cold and be able to just go, And that was a long time ago, but it still stays with me as one of those things that, it's repetition, spaced repetition over time helps you develop that level of comfort, and then that comfort turns into confidence. And Johnny just chimed in the chat. I'm going to give a shout out to Johnny. And this is completely off. And I'm going to bring it right back. Johnny is the person who dresses me. He's the one who helps me pick out my clothes. He doesn't come to my house and pick out my closet. He just sends me pictures and says, you should be wearing stuff like this. And that's what he's incredibly good at. You can see him right there in the chat. He gave one of these. I don't know what this emoji is. Somebody can tell me what that is. I feel like it's somebody going like this. Stop. Hold on. Stop. But you see Johnny right there. Johnny's a stylist. He's a men's clothing and women's clothing stylist too. But when he puts me in clothes, when he tells me, hey, you should wear this, these are the right colors, these are things you should wear, this is going to look good on you. Boy, nothing gives me more confidence than knowing that someone else has sanity checked my appearance and done something that helps me look presentable in front of people. Otherwise, I'm in a crappy hoodie and shorts that I've owned for 20 years. So a shout out to Johnny who's out there. Anybody should connect with that guy if you really want to up your style game. Well, Bridget, here we are. We're talking about the number one way to instantly seduce your prospects, to grow your business and to get more sales. And we have covered a lot of ground so far, but we really do have to get to our number one ways. So you want to do rock, paper, scissors for who's going to go first on this one?
Sure.
You know how to do rock, paper, scissors?
Of course I do. I have children.
You know what my kids do is they say rock, paper, scissors, anything. And then they do anything. And it's like rock, paper, scissors, sledgehammer, and the sledgehammer wins. I'm not going to do that with you. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors. We'll do it on 3, and whoever wins goes first. 1, 2, 3. You win. You go first. I think you cheated.
What? Yeah, my kids do that too. They wait a second.
That's what you just did.
No, I didn't. Did I?
In the chat, please tell me if you noticed that Bridget cheated. Did she cheat? Did she do it long after I did it? Enough time to see what I did, and then she chose.
There was a delay. It's called internet.
Yeah, the internet helped you win. Okay, Bridget, what is your number one way to? Are you frozen? I know you were frozen for a second. What's your number one way of developing unquestionable confidence?
Honestly, it's putting yourself out there. It's practice. Practice makes programming, not perfection. Practice makes programming. So I want you to start to create that confidence program by practicing your relationships, practicing your skill set, and sharing your product, message, or service. You are doing research. See what works. Just get people on your calendar. That is the number one thing I could say right now to start leveling up your confidence. Start practicing the art of the conversation, communication. Be not afraid of getting people on your calendar and saying hi, meeting them. Put a video out there of yourself. you watch videos of people all the time and you like when there's imperfections. So don't be afraid to show up human.
Wow.
Because people are going to feel connected to you before you meet with them, which is the goal. I kind of want to throw out one extra thing. Is that okay, Chris? So branding programs your prospects. So get a whole bunch of people on your calendar. Then 2, make sure that your social media, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, Instagram, your color scheme is the same everywhere. Consistency builds trust. Make sure that your branding is doing the work for you so people feel like they know you before they actually meet with you. So that's what I would say. And if you are unsure about your marketing, that it's communicating you authentically in your product, message, or service, have a trusted friend. Look it over and say, hey, this is communicating you effectively, or it's not. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
To your point of putting yourself out there and just getting the meetings and talking to people and doing it more and more, I'm going to suggest, just as a follow-on to yours, have something that you can just take little notes on. Have a digital note taker. Use notes on your phone and write down after every meeting, write down the things that worked. What was it that got someone's eyes to raise? Or, I love going to these networking meetings where you're looking at 45 people, because I watch the people when I start talking and I look at the responses, and I know if I say this word, it's going to get this response. Nothing gives you more confidence than that. And I think that's where you're going.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Well, my number one tip, and if you've been with us for the last half hour, thank you for being with us. My number one tip to instantly seduce your prospects and build your business by having unquestionable confidence is this. And listen, I joke around a lot, but this is no joke right now. You must be able to produce results. You must provide a transformation, and you must have provided that for others, so that when you go into the sales conversation, you do so, and at your back, pushing on you and helping those words come out, is the knowledge and the experience that you have provided a transformation for others. So I am going to tell you this: stop faking it. Stop pretending. Don't fake it till you make it. Go out there and make it right now. Get those results. Have those results here. Have those results holding you and pushing you. And always remember, when you're speaking to your prospects, you have a transformation that you can offer them. Every single one of you. I'm looking at the chat. I see you all out there. I know who you are. And even if I don't, you have a transformation that you offer. And if you don't offer that transformation with confidence, and you let the competition get the job, your business is going to suffer. And you're doing not only yourself a disservice, you're doing your client a disservice. And I'm going to use an actual client example. This is someone who came to me who was struggling to make $5,000 a month. And they are now at a point where at least once a week, they're making $10,000 a day by attracting clients to them. They're making multiple 5 figures per month. For me, when I talk to my prospects, when I share that story with you right now, I can do so with unquestionable confidence because I've done it before. So you need to go out there and you need to do whatever it takes to get your first 5 clients and provide the results for them. And that is going to stack a bunch of rocks on the side of the scale that says, I am confident. And that is what's going to make you confident. Go get people results. Stop faking it. Stop being a faker. Go out. Stop it. Go get people results at all cost. And that is going to build your confidence because you've done it before. Bridget, we have covered a lot of ground in the last half hour. I want to thank you so much for your time and providing this incredible insight. Just so amazing.
Cheers.
Cheers. Are we cheering? Here we go.
We'll
do a little wait, ready? Do it again. Watch this. I'll do that again. Ready?
Okay.
See that? Oh, we're so not even close. I'll answer any questions that show up in the chat as this thing lives in perpetuity on our social feeds. If you want to get a hold of Bridget, you can see right down there by her, it's bridgethom.me or bridgethom.me or brigethom.me. It's one of those if you read it.
One of those.
And if you would like to get on my calendar and chat with me about this, you can see right there, it's proudy.me. That will get you on my calendar as well. Well, this has been absolutely amazing today. Guys, we've talked today about the number one way. We've actually given you 6 ways. You get to pick your number one way of having unquestionable confidence as you're approaching your market. My name is Chris Proudy, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you that spent time with us today. Bridget, bring us home, and as always, you get the final word.
Listen, it is time to level up in your confidence. Have a great day, guys.